Hello everyone, welcome to Awkward Author. My name is Alyssa Grasso, and this is my weekly vlog and podcast about my sometimes awkward author life. And it's a busy time of year for me. Author stuff maybe not quite as busy as the other stuff, but also busy with some author things. So this past weekend, I was at the second author expo event I was doing. So the week before, I think I told you I was at an event at the Doylestown branch of the Bucks County Library. And this past weekend, I was at the Quakertown branch of the Bucks County Library. So same event, different venue, basically. A few less authors, I would say, at the one in Quakertown, but still a well-attended event. Nice variety of authors there, all ages, all genres. Interesting to see, the different stuff that people had out there and were selling, and I definitely had a good time going to it. I sold some books, so, I have a friend who's also an author, and very early on when we were doing book signings together, my friend Jen, this is Jennifer R. Hubbard, you should look up her books because they're good, young adult books. She also has some nonfiction. And Jen said to me at an event one time, like, if you sell one book at it, then you can consider it a success. So that's how I always look at an author event, a book selling event. If I sell one book, it is a success. So I did sell at least one. I actually sold a few books. So it's very much a success in my book. What was interesting is at this sale, none of my all my sales were credit card transactions, and I take credit cards using a PayPal card reader. Some people use a Square card reader, and I just had that hooked up to my iPad, was using the library's Wi-Fi to do it. You can also use your phone if you want, and it's very easy to do now. Obviously, for being a credit card processor, PayPal does take a small cut of your earnings, and I assume the Square reader works the same way. And I know not every author was, using card readers at this event, because I did have an author who'd been sitting across from me, came up to me later on in the event and was asking how I took credit cards and how that works. So I was explaining that, and I know the author next to me was not taking credit cards, so definitely something to consider if you're going to be doing an event where you're selling your own books. To have that available as an option, because these days people don't really carry around cash. We used to, back in the day, I'm showing my age now, like there used to be stores, there used to be restaurants that actually, didn't accept credit cards. So you had to have cash with you. Nowadays, it's rare to find a place that doesn't accept cards, and actually I've seen like news stories about places that don't accept cash, which is crazy, and the legality of that and stuff like that. But it's like we've come full circle. Anyway, so if you're going to be doing an event where you're selling anything, but especially if you're doing something where you're selling books, good idea to invest in a card reader, or if you have a PayPal account. I think you have to have a PayPal business account. I'm not quite sure how it works, which I do have already. And I don't know what the difference is between, a business account and a regular account. I don't have like a business license or something for my PayPal account, so I don't really know what qualifies you as a business account, but they will give you a free card reader. So they'll send it to you for free. If you want, though, you can pick one up. You can go to Staples or your local office supply store or whatever, and they should have them. They have the PayPal ones, they have Square ones. Mine is just a swipe one. They make them now for like chip cards, so you can, for a very small amount of money, you can set yourself up to accept credit cards at an event, and I would strongly urge you to do that. That's something I wanted to talk about this week, and that is, are you making it as easy as you can for people to buy what you're selling? Because, at each point when someone encounters difficulty trying to buy something from you, that's, a potential point when you're going to lose a sale. So, the one person who had bought a couple of my books at the event was asking, if I accepted credit cards, and I said that I did. She's like, that's good, because I didn't bring any cash. She's like, I know there's a bank across the street, so I was thinking if I had to, I could go over there and get cash. But, what are the chances that if I didn't accept credit cards, she would have gone over to the bank, gotten cash, come back, and bought my books? I mean, maybe it would have happened, but I was not going to count on that. So Might she have bought books from another author? If, she had the cash on her, or if they accepted credit cards, did she buy from me because she saw accepted credit cards? I don't know. But that is something to consider if you're, selling anything at an event. But obviously, this podcast and vlog is geared towards authors. So, yeah, accept credit cards, guys. Accept cash. I would be leery about accepting checks. I did accept check last week, but it was technically from a relative, so I was fine with that. But, not too many people are using checks nowadays. And again, if you're accepting credit cards, that gives them an option to use that as opposed to a check, which most people, if they're carrying around a checkbook, they're almost certainly going to have a credit card on them. But the other reason I wanted to talk about, making it easier for people to buy stuff, not just in person, but online as well, since this day and age, that's where a lot of transactions are happening. And if you are someone that is selling things on the internet, if you are making your business from selling stuff, and if you're an author, that is what you are doing, how easy is it for people to buy your books? That is the question you have to ask. And so one thing to consider is just, about when we talk about being exclusive or being wide, exclusive meaning, your books digitally anyway are only available on Amazon and only available through the Kindle program. And, I'm not saying that's not a good option. There's a lot of money to be made there, but are you costing yourself sales for people who would prefer to download the book to their Nook or, download it to their iPad, which you can still do with, the Kindle app on your, device. But, are people going to do that? Are they going to go to iBooks, see your book's not there, be like, I'll just get something else instead? I mean, how much do they want your book over another book that they're going to jump through some extra hoops to make sure that they can get the copy that they want? So it's something I think you really need to consider as an author. And I don't have the answer, like, which is better, but it's one reason that I have my books available wide, because personally, I don't, I would prefer not to have to buy a book through Kindle. If I can get it, on iBooks, I'm so much happier because it's just so much easier and convenient for me. I have the Kindle app. I can read Kindle books on my iPad. It's just a little bit more of a pain in the butt. And so sometimes it's like, the book's only available on Kindle. I'll see, I'll save it for later and maybe I'll buy it, that sort of thing. So it is something to consider. You could be costing yourself sales. On the other hand, there are those Kindle Unlimited page reads that you aren't going to get if you are not exclusive. But the reason I was thinking about this week is because I have begun my Christmas shopping. It is that time of year, and my nephew, who is in his teens, is an aspiring artist. He's create some art himself. He's into very much like the comic book type art, graphic novel type art. And there's some artists that he follows online, I guess, Instagram or YouTube. I don't even know. So on his list this year, some things he wants are some different art books from these artists or graphic novels from these artists. And so I thought, like, this is great. I can just, buy these. I buy books, all the time. Well, of course, they're not available, on Barnes & Noble. They're not available in bookstores. They're not available on Amazon. So right off, that's like, why? Like, if you're in the business of selling books and I can't buy your book in the places that people generally buy books, the question is, why would you do that to yourself? And, I can understand, with art books, it's not quite the same as when you're doing, a book that's text, like a novel or, just regular old nonfiction book. That obviously lends itself a lot better to the Kindle print-on-demand technology. When you're dealing with illustrations, I realize, like, there's quality control issues and there's also pricing issues when you're doing something like full color artwork or something. So yes, I do understand there are differences, although there are some print-on-demand options out there for, comic books and, graphic novels and things like that, which I think, if you're in that business, you probably should consider. The other thing, you could do is, like, one of these creators, at least maybe both of them that I was looking at, is producing books, doing a print run. And so he produced a quantity of books. Now, the way he was doing it was through a Kickstarter campaign. So he funded it with a Kickstarter campaign. The people that bought into the Kickstarter campaign, then got his book, and then he had some more available that I guess were sold on his website. Unfortunately, this was before I was doing my Christmas shopping, so by the time I was doing my Christmas shopping, he did not have any more copies available. And again, it's, November, it's, a lot of stuff gets bought in November. A lot of stuff gets bought on the internet, and if you are trying to sell something and it's not available for people to buy, you got to ask yourself, is this such a smart business decision? Again, to update you, the only way I could buy stuff from either of these artists was through their website, and the one I could even buy because it was sold out. And so it's a frustrating thing. I've been in contact, and supposedly there's going to be some more copies available at some point, but I don't know. I don't know if this is like the smartest business decision. I mean, what you want to do is make money and sell books, so I think you gotta figure out a way to do that. And I guess maybe having a limited thing maybe can drive up demand for something. I could see that. But you're also kind of pushing, buyers who want your stuff to buy it in a way where you're not going to get any income from it, because they're going to look for, sellers selling a copy on eBay or something like that, or third-party sellers on Amazon who are reselling copies. And obviously a book that's rare like that can go for a lot of money, but you're not going to get anything from it. So why wouldn't you try to figure out a way to get your book into the hands of readers? Now, I realize, again, doing a print run like that can be very expensive. So once you sell out, to try to print more, obviously it's a big cost. And again, though, if you're doing something like that, I would consider different distribution channels. Now, if you don't want to work through a book distributor directly, which can be kind of a pain, at least create a seller account on Amazon and have your books available for sale there. I mean, you can open a seller account on Amazon for free. There is no charge to that. You're just going to pay per book. If you want to be a pro seller, which means if you're selling 40 things or more a month, then you're going to pay $40 a month for it. But it works out with the fees that you're going to pay less fees if you're a pro seller, and you can ship things to the people directly. If you want to do what I do, you can actually set up a whole FBA account. You can have your books in Amazon warehouses. People can order it, and it can be shipped to them, Amazon Prime. So you can do all that even if you are printing your books yourself. And I think if you're in the business of selling stuff in the internet on this day and age, and the only place that people can buy it is on your website, you're really hurting yourself, I think, and costing yourself a lot of sales. So you want to have it available in as many different venues as you can. And in this case, I mean, I know it's the evil empire. They don't pay taxes. They're destroying retail stores, but people shop on Amazon. People buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. And so if you're going to sell stuff on the internet and you are deliberately not making it available on Amazon, I think you're really hurting yourself in terms of sales. And I realize there's, moral things to consider and philosophical things to consider, but if you're in business, you're trying to make money, you probably want to have a way for people to buy your product through Amazon. As long as it's something that's legal to sell on Amazon, like book definitely is, try to figure out how to get on there. If you can't, for whatever reasons, quality control reasons or whatever, do it through print on demand. Create your own Amazon seller account and, create product listings for your items and sell them that way. That would be my advice. But of course, if you're a traditional author, not writing, comic books or graphic novels or anything like that, you don't even have to worry about all that. You can do that so easily using Kindle Direct Publishing, as well as things like Ingram Spark. And so, and like I said, making your books available in as many places as possible, I think is it's just smart business sense. That's all I'll say. So make it easier for people to buy whatever you're selling, and I think you will then see more sales coming in. But that's just my little soapbox rant for today, and just some things I've been thinking about my experiences over the past week. like I said, it's a crazy week here. It's a crazy month here. As far as writing goes, I'm not making too much progress because I just have not had the time to focus on that. So dribs and drabs here and there. I will definitely, get back into the swing of things probably around the middle of December. Until then, I'm going to be so busy that if I do any writing at all, it's going to be a pretty small amount. But for those of you that are, forging ahead with National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo, you have my full support. I'm always impressed to see, what people do who participate in that. I've never, I will say I've never done NaNoWriMo, so I'm in awe of all of you that do that. But with my busy schedule in mind, I'm going to sign off for now. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you're traveling, stay safe. I hope you don't hit any traffic or flight delays or anything like that. And I hope you, enjoy your meal, enjoy your Black Friday shopping, enjoy whatever you've got planned this week. I will catch up with you all again in another week. If you would like to know more about me, you can check out my website, which is alyssagrosso.com. That's ALISSAGROSSO.com. So until next week, guys, take it easy, keep it awkward. I'll see you soon.